Okay, so we are doing synthetic division today, but before we do that, we're in our notebooks and we're gonna practice evaluating a polynomial. I'm gonna walk around and see that you wrote this down, because I'm going to get my 10,000 steps today.
Oh yeah.
So I'm going to remind you what this looks like for this problem only, but you are the ones that have to plug it in. So, parentheses, stop talking, 2 cubed, minus 3, parenthesis, 2 squared, minus 7, parenthesis, 2, plus 6. So remember, when you plug that in, you just got to use parentheses. And you just plug it all in on one line in your calculator. And we've talked about this before, but I would just use your Desmos calculator. What do you mean? Get into your Chromebook, go to Desmos.com, choose resources, just kidding, math tools, and pick the scientific calculator. Then you type in what you see on my right-hand screen. Parenthesis, 2, parenthesis, shift, 2, 3 I meant. I'm not going to keep typing it in because the more I type it in, it'll solve it out here. And I don't want to give you the answer. I want you to give me the answer. You know? Okay, go. Hugo, you should be typing. Ain't nobody can do this in their heads.
No, it's starting. I'm being serious.
I believe you. Should we put it on our whiteboard? Yeah.
Sure.
Great. Let's put it on our whiteboard. How much time do you need? Like 30 seconds? Just to get everything going? Great. Sounds good.
Today's the day when my handwriting is somewhat.
10. I just feel like people are going to judge me. I just got to be me.
Just do it.
Just got to do you, boo-boo. Ivani, stop making that face like you're going to judge me.
We're gonna do it.
Right?
Do it. Did it. Total. Tell Matt you want it for Christmas.
Okay, about 5. No.
Oh no.
4, 3, 2. Okay, show me. Oh no, something went awry for some of you. This is negative 12. Okay, family, we need to have a little reminder. Whiteboards are not optional. You ain't got your whiteboard? Come get a marker, use your notebook paper, and write up your answer. Indeed, Carly. Next one. 3x cubed minus 7x squared plus 6x plus 8 when x is 1. Okay, this time I'm not going to plug it in for you, though. You got to plug it in on your own. And I'm going to come walk through this time because I told you I was going to last time and then I didn't. So as soon as I plug mine in, I'm coming around the mountain. Oh, crud. Carly, certainly you don't need to bash on your keys like that. Ivani, was she not bashing on them keys?
She was. I was getting rid of it.
Good golly, Miss Molly.
Mom.
You see that little clear out thing?
Oh, shoot.
Yeah. I was
Click on it, Carly.
Listen.
Oh.
I didn't see that. Okay.
Caesar, is this your water? Yeah, get it. When I coached the cheerleaders, one of my pet peeves was that they would always leave their damn water bottles in here. Waste of water.
Boom.
Bruising. Okay, we need like 20 seconds.
I did my AP class.
I know, I did stats.
Right by the
Roughly 10.
My nose looks a little weird.
This is even.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Yeah.
Show me what you got. Show it to me. Show me. Okay, I got 10 on this one in my calculator. Not sure what went wrong if you didn't get 10. How come that's showing up so? Oh, because the screen's not on. Okay, last one of these. Let us do 2x cubed plus 4x squared minus 3x minus 6 when x is negative 3. Oh, sorry. Let's get a grip, teach. Okay, I'm going to give you 1 minute. Use parentheses. Be careful when you plug it in. Roughly 30. Oh, you know, just another day in paradise. Love this job. I'm having a great day. I know.
Yeah.
No, I gotta convince Hugo I like my job. Okay? 10. Five. 3, 2, 1. Ooh, this one's looking pretty good. This one's looking good. Negative 15. Okay, now remember, usually when I make you guys do stuff like this at the beginning of the period, it's going to come back to haunt us. So this might. Now, before we get into the synthetic division, let's review with an easy example, long division. Because remember, in this unit, we're dealing with polynomials. We've talked about how to add them, subtract them, multiply them, and then last time we divided them in the long division way. So, we're doing x squared plus 5x plus 1 divided by x plus 3. And on your quiz today, it's going to ask you to identify what each of these are. So this first number is your dividend, and this second number is your divisor. We put the dividend in the house. So we draw our house. We put in there x squared plus 5x plus 1. And then outside the house, we put our divisor. If you were here last time, so far so good? Okay. Now, we want to use this x right here to cancel out this first term in the house. In order to cancel it out, we have to make x into x squared, because that's what we're canceling out. So if we multiply x by x, you will get x squared. So I took this x on the top and I multiplied it by this x on the outside so that I could get an x squared right here. But remember, when you distribute, you have to do it to both terms. So now I got to take that x and multiply it by the 3. That's going to give me a plus 3x. You're hanging in? Was that a yes?
Yeah.
Now what do? Subtract these guys. We got to subtract them. So in order to subtract them, we change the signs. The x squared becomes negative. The plus 3 becomes minus 3. Our x squareds cancel, and we combine positive 5 and negative 3. What's that going to give us? Positive 2x. Bring down the 1. Now we got to cancel out this guy, 2x. We have the x right here highlighted in green, so the only thing we need is a 2. So we're going to go plus 2 on the house. And we distribute just like we did last time. So we take this 2 and we multiply it by x. That gives us 2x. Then we do 2 times positive 3. That gives us plus 6. Now what? Subtract. So change the signs. 2's cancel out. What's our remainder? Negative 5. So is x plus 3 a factor? No. So we got our dividend. We got our divisor. We got our quotient is what is on the house. So that's x plus 2. Our quotient is on the house. And our remainder of 5. Holy shamoly. So let's use this same example for synthetic division. Put your seatbelts on, because it's quite an adventure. Ready? Set, go. I need a new page, because I write ginormous. If you don't need a new page, that's fine. Same problem. We got x squared plus 5x plus 1 divided by x plus 3. Okay, so when you use synthetic division, you turn the house upside down, and he's 2 lines instead of just 1. Let me highlight that so it's a little clearer. Turn your house upside down. Make him 2 lines long. Or high, I meant. Now, inside the house, all you put is numbers. So instead of x squared, what we put in there is 1. Because 1 is the number on the x squared. The next number you write down is 5. Then the last number you write down is 1. We do not put any symbols in the house. Do you guys understand where I'm getting 1, 5, 1? 1, 5, 1. Is that making sense? You're sure? So there's a 1 in front of the x squared, a 5 in front of the x, a 1 in the number position. Since there are no symbols on the outside, we cannot put x plus 3. We have to instead put what x is. We don't know what x is yet. We know that x plus 3 is equal to 0. So how do I get this x all by itself? How do you undo a plus 3? Minus 3. So I have to use what x is. And essentially, it's the opposite of what you get here. Meaning, if you get an x plus 3, you use a negative 3. If you get an x minus 5, you use a positive 5. Because we're not using any symbols in synthetic division. So out here, put a negative 3. Okay. Whew. Here we go. Bring down the 1. You always bring down that first number. Now you take this negative 3 and you multiply it by the 1. So times negative 3. What is 1 times negative 3? You put that in the house underneath the 5. Then you add them. You always add or combine. You always put a plus sign between those. So we get a positive 5 plus a negative 3. That's going to give us a positive 2. And we take this negative 3 and multiply it by 2. So what is 2 times negative 3? Negative 6. Put it in the house. Add the 2 numbers. It's always add. What is 1 plus negative 6? Negative 5. This last number is your remainder. It is always your remainder. Once you get to the very last column, that's your remainder. X plus 3 is only a factor if your remainder ends up being 0. Does this make sense? Okay, here's how you write your quotient. Your quotient always starts with 1 less exponent than you had. So if you have an x squared here, you take this number and it now becomes an x. So you have 1x plus 2. Well, 1x plus 2 is just x plus 2. Do you guys agree? Yes, no?
Yeah.
Now compare that to the one we just did. You'll like this one better once we do another few examples, or maybe not. You're hanging in?
Yeah.
Okay, so let me just write something down in our notebook that may help. If your dividend starts with an x to the 5th, just like last time, you have to have an x to the 4th, 3rd, squared, x, and a number. So whatever you start with, you have to have all the places after it. Your quotient then will be 1 degree less, or 1 exponent less. So your quotient will have an x to the 4th, an x to the 3rd, an x squared, x, and a number. This is going to be one of your quiz questions. And you have to remember that whatever your quotient is, it's 1 degree or 1 exponent less. You're okay? Well, we probably don't know at this point, but. Okay, let's get into our notebook and try some in there. So we're on page 39. And I'm going to try really hard to only use up half of the space on my notebook because the quiz has some problems on it that we don't cover, and so we're going to need space to write those down. So for each problem, I'm just going to try to use half of the page. Okay. So in this problem, we start with an x cubed. So let's make sure we have all of the elements. We have a 3, a 2, 1, number. So we're not missing anything. You guys are okay with that? Okay, we draw our upside down house. And we put numbers for our synthetic division. So for x cubed, what number should we put? 1. For x squared, we want to put -3. For x, you want to put -7. And for the number, you put 6. So just so we're clear, you don't have to write this, but I will. This goes x cubed, x squared, x, and the number. Which means whatever numbers we get down here have to be an x squared, an x, and a number. If we start with an x cubed, we will finish with an x squared. Okay, what's the trick for the divisor? What am I going to write on the outside? 2. So, because we can't use any symbols, we have to write what x is. And x is a positive 2. It's the opposite of what you see. Okay, drop that 1 down. And we multiply it by what number? 2. 1 times 2 is 2. And you add those. What's a -3 plus 2? What do we multiply by? 2 again. You always multiply by this number here outside the house. So -2 times -1 is -2. Add. You're always combining. So what's negative 7 combined with negative 2? Now what do I do? By
2.
negative 9 times 2. Combine 6 plus negative 18. You might need your calculator for that one. Negative 12. This is your remainder. Remember, that last number is always your remainder. So then our quotient is 1x squared. Remember how I listed that underneath? Minus 1x minus 9. If you wanted to write the remainder, you would do plus negative 12 over x minus 2. Do I have to have these ones here? No. So this really should be written as x squared minus x minus 9. Is x minus 2 a factor? No, x minus 2 is not a factor. So the good news is on your quiz, lots of them just ask you to give the remainder. They just ask you to give this last number. As you guys go through and do these on your own, you can write as much or as little as you want. So these are some ones that I practiced before class. And as you can see, when I do it on my own, I hardly write anything down. So you guys should be writing as much as what helps you. Does that make sense? Okay, let's check out the next one. We start with an x cubed. So I'm just going to make sure that I have all the terms by writing x cubed, x squared, x number. So I'm just going to start by making sure that I have them all in descending order. Then I'm going to draw my upside down house. And I fill in the number that matches these exponents. So what number should I fill in for the x cubed position? 3. X squared. X. Number. Okay, on the outside, we have to write what x is. So what is x? Is it 1 or negative 1? 1. It's always the opposite of what you see here. Okay, drop down the 3. Multiply it by what? 1. Add the two numbers. What do we get? Negative 4. What do I multiply by? 1. Negative 4 times 1 is negative 4. 6 plus negative 4 equals? Multiply it by? 2 times 1 is 2. Add them. So what's your remainder? So if we were going to write our quotient, we started with an x cubed. So that means we have to end with an x squared, an x, and a number. So that means our quotient is 3x squared minus 4x plus 2 with a remainder of 10. How are you feeling? Is x minus 1 a factor? No. How do we know it's not a factor? Because there's a remainder. The only time something is a factor is if your remainder is 0. Okay, next page, and I'm going to start picking sticks. So I'm going to set you up on the next one. You start with an x cubed, which means in the house you have to have a number for x cubed, x squared, x, and the constant. So you put what goes in the house and what goes outside the house, and I'll get our sticks ready so you can help me. Help me. No, Aliyah, she's always here. No Juan. We got lots of people here today. Okay, ready? Oh. All you're doing is filling in the numbers. You're not solving. About 10. Okay, Hugo, what should I put outside of the house? Thanks, Hugo. Piper. Who did? Oh, geez. Cheyenne, what number should I fill in the x cubed position? 2. Ivani, what do you think I should put for x squared? 0. Zane, what do I put in for x?
-1.
Perfect. A plus, -1. And last number goes to Nick. What do I put in? Perfect, -7. Anisha, what number am I going to drop down? 2. Sarah, what number am I going to multiply 2 by? Britton, what's 2 times -3? Add. 0 plus -6 is -6. Beth, what do I multiply -6 by? -3. Raul, what's -6 times -3? 18. Fernando, what is -1 plus 18? Yep. Elizabeth, what do I multiply 17 by? Carly, what's -3 times 17? Yep. -7 plus -51 is -58. That is our remainder. So underneath here, if we start with an x cubed, that means 2 is x squared Negative 6 is x. 17 is our number. So our quotient is, I'm just going to say quo instead of quotient because I'm lazy. 2x squared minus 6x plus 17. Piper, you liking this any better now? You liking this any better now? Still liking the long division situation? All right. Okay, should we do this last one with sticks, or do you want to try this last one on your own? On your own?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to come around and look to see what remainder you get, because your remainder will tell me if you divided right. I'll put a little bit of supporting stuff up here. Okay, I'm coming around the mountain. You better not be talking when you're not done. Just saying. If you're done, and just wait and see if you can write the quotient. Oh, some of you did. Okay, about 20. Ten. Okay, the remainder is 4. Here's my work. So if you went wrong, see if you can figure out where you went wrong. Your quotient is 5x plus 2. Okay, one more, and then I'll tell you the last part, and you'll have the rest of the time to do your quiz. So I'm going to write this on the other side next to the 4. So remember how I split mine in half? I'm just going to write it over here next to the 4. So it is x cubed plus 2x squared. Oh wait, I think I'm lying. I think it's x to the 4th. So sorry. X to the 4th plus 2x cubed minus 27x minus 54 divided by x plus 2. I'll zoom way in. So I'll put up some supporting elements. So I have some supporting things on the screen now. I'll do mine on my paper and then walk around to check remainder. That's the problem you're doing. Okay, just to help, x plus 2 is a factor. So if it is a factor, what should your remainder be? 0. If you don't have a 0, go back through and fix your math. If you have no math to fix, write the problem down, family. I think maybe I should have to come and check everybody's on this one. Because y'all like to think that you can just hide and do nothing. And stare at the same problem for 10 minutes. That's got to be so much more miserable than just trying. Just try. Those are the numbers that go in the house. If you're done, try to write the quotient. Because the quotient's interesting.
Oh yeah, this is October 28th.
Okay, so here's my work. The quotient is x cubed minus 27. So if something went wrong for you, you want to evaluate where that went wrong. Do you know what I'm saying? Okay, there's one last element to this. I'm going to write this one above. Some very zenned out ringer action. Okay, on this, when I walk around, you guys need to write this down. Like some of y'all's paper, my lord, how can you understand anything you're writing down? Please, keep it organized. This is leading us into the last part of this. 3x cubed minus 7x squared plus 6x plus 8 divided by x minus 1. What I want you to find is the remainder. You do not need to find the quotient. All I need is that last number at the end of the house. So all you're doing on this one is finding the remainder. Oh, did I do this wrong? There's a method to the madness. We didn't divide it. Did we? No, we didn't. Oh, that's where I'm going wrong. Okay, what's your remainder? 10. Now, Zach noticed, we've done this. We've seen this. Here's where you saw it. Evaluate the polynomial when x is 1. When we plugged a 1 in, the answer that we got was 10. So you're going to see problems on your quiz that say that. They're going to give you this, and it's going to say evaluate this when x is 1. They tell you what x is. So let's just do one more on the front that is written that way. So x cubed, evaluate x cubed minus 3x squared minus 7x plus 6 when x is 2. The biggest difference about these is that they tell you what to put outside the house. They actually tell you what x is. In these other problems, it did not. It said x minus 2, x minus 1. This tells you what to use. This is our last one that we're doing together. I'll come around the mountain to see how you're doing. If you check your notes, you'll see what this remainder should be. This is another one we solved. Lots of you guys need to check your notes for the answer. I would say about half of you had it wrong as I was walking through. So if you wrote down the problems we did at the beginning, your remainder is in there. I am getting -12. So what this means is when you plug in a -2, just kidding, a +2, what you would get out is a -12. Your remainder is what you get out if you plug 2 into the function. As we did here, it was the first problem that I had you evaluate. So your quiz has 8 problems, I think. You guys have 30 minutes. Try to get it done and any of your remaining ones that are not done. Okay?